Hello and welcome to the 2023 version of Carbon Copy. Don't say I don't do anything for you guys. I deleted the game and I started over so I could make this for you. Hopefully my profile is safe. Hopefully I don't have to file a ticket to try to get it back. Now, if you want to jump around, there are timestamp links available in the description area. But I'm going to be going through strategies randomly, so I'm not necessarily always talking about the race at hand because sometimes, like this one, it's incredibly easy. But nonetheless, you can hop around if you want to. Now, the early stages here, we've got instant R&D, as in research and development, instant servicing, so it doesn't really matter if you smash yourself up very much. Did you know, if you're a newer player, you might not know this, way back in the day, there was no such thing as instant servicing and instant R&D. So for an event like this, that meant watching lots of ads to speed up servicing. Or, if you had upgrades to apply, watching piles of ads to get those upgrades to speed up. Especially when you get those upgrades that take 24 hours to apply, or even more, like 24 hours, 30% of that is 7.2 hours. So that's a big jump right off the start, but as you get to the lower parts, it's like 10 minutes off, anyway. So right there, I was double checking what place I have to finish in. That gets us to our first piece of strategy, which is only do the minimum of what you have to do. That's what you do in recommended PR events because we want to keep the bots slow. And I've got some different views on bot management and bot slowing than I used to have that I will be sharing. But right now, let's just focus. So watch this. Watch how far back those bots fall, which is what you want. You want to keep them dreadfully slow. You want easy bots because eventually things get very difficult. And the harder it gets, the more currency you have to spend. See how I reeled him in? You want him within 20 meters. You want him close. Third place is going to increase the difficulty by a tiny bit. I don't have a choice. So my only option is to reel him in so it's not too bad. Now, a lot of these, typically stage one is really easy. And that's where people make their mistake, is they blow through stage one and stage two and stage three, and they finish with massive leads. And then they start saying, oh, I don't know why it's getting so hard. That's because you were finishing way too far ahead than you had to. So don't do that. Do the minimum. Always do the minimum. Up until the very last race, just do the minimum. Unless you know what you're facing. Like, well, you can watch my videos and see. By the way, there is the original playlist link to this video. I guess I don't really want to put it up there right now. It'll be at the very end of the video if you want to hop and see that. That's from 2018, the very first time this ran. Back then, I was not doing commentary. Things were different back then. So a lot of my videos were done and then they'd be put up on the Real Racing 3 Wiki and we discuss things. So this internet was still a lot of typed tips. So my tips appear in the description area of the videos, not during the video. The video just racing. In fact, people used to complain when I first was doing commentary, saying, why are you talking so much? Just let the race play. Not realizing that, well, no, this is what people want. They want tips, although maybe not right now. So what am I doing now? Why am I doing this? I'm stacking up the field. I'm making the race take a little bit longer. I'm making mistakes by sliding out. I did not test drive this Mercedes with no upgrades. I'm used to a fully upgraded one, and I haven't driven it for a long time. So it takes a little while to kind of get back into the groove if you haven't driven a car for a while. So I'm going to get back in front of that Porsche. I think that's a Porsche. Pretty sure that's a Porsche. And then do a bit of blocking and keep him in my sights. Oh, there we go. Now, you don't want to have the whole field catch up, because next thing you know, they go too wide and then you lose and you redo the race again, which always sucks. Oh! I thought this was ending right there. Oh, I'm on the wrong circuit in my brain. I thought I was at West Circuit. This is Grand Prix Circuit. Oh, you guys are probably sitting there saying, what are you doing? Well, I forgot where I was. That's what I'm doing. Okay, well, reel him back in again. And let's see if the field's stacked up here. Ooh, they are. I'm going to be a little bit more careful then. I don't want to release that whole horde, so you can see I'm checking them a lot. I want to see as soon as someone's trying to get around me. All right, there we go. No upgrades, of course. I'm doing this with no upgrades to start with, and we'll see where that goes from there. Crazy thing, when you reset your profile, well, I didn't reset my profile. When you delete the game and don't sign in, you have to do the Racing Academy again. So I had to do the Formula One Racing Academy, 3 races there. Then you've got to get your racer level up to a certain level before they even let you run an event like this. So then I had to do a whole bunch more racing in the Academy car before I could even start this. So guys, I've already put in a lot of extra time just to start this event for you. Not to mention, what comes up later on. Okay, so what am I doing here? Well, I'm just kind of messing around, trying to keep them low back here. Ooh boy, too wide. How long can I block that? That could get interesting. They're so slow. Like it doesn't hurt it doesn't matter, and if I throw them off track, that affects things. We're going to try something interesting. When there's one car left, I'm going to see if I can come to a complete stop and just capture the car and hold him like this. But I got to be careful, or next thing you know, there's a horde. But they just give me the race line. So very easy, the first ones, but still, you want to... Ooh, careful. That could have been the end of a race. Pit maneuver. Oh, I tried to do a pit maneuver on him and I missed. Well, this is what can happen when you're messing around too much. Wait, is that a Porsche? Sure that is. It's not a Mazda. No, that's a Porsche. I forget which Porsche that is. But that's a Porsche. Gotta be a Porsche. I was thinking Mazda 787B in my brain, but I don't think those are in these races. Sometimes I'm so busy racing and so busy thinking about video tips and things like that, I'm not necessarily paying attention to my competitors. So these are interesting cars. These are old cars, so the handling is different. Some people are saying the brakes are really bad. They're actually not too bad. What makes the brakes feel bad is that the car is really fast. Like, don't get me wrong, they're certainly worse than modern brakes, but they're not as bad as some other cars in the game, like even some of the base Bugatti Veyrons. Those are worse brakes than this. In fact, very similar speeds. The Bugattis just feel like, they feel like tanks. And this car doesn't really feel heavy, it feels a bit loose. And that's just the way it is, even though it's got pretty decent grip. My goodness, man. Okay, I'm gonna catch him, come to a complete stop if I can. And I can even back him up a bit if I wanted to. Oh, well, there we go, that's the end of it. So he's not gonna get going now. It's funny how they start to disappear and then reappear. Achievement, not a scratch. And yes, I had to collect all these achievements again. And look at that, player level 6. I think I had to be player level 5 to actually start this. All right, so here we are. We're already getting into stage 2. And I still have the very base PR. I tried doing some bot slowing here and it didn't work. So I'm not going to show you the results of that. Why didn't it work? It's because I'm already below recommended PR. So to do bot slowing, I should have done that in day 1. And, well, I'm already going to start talking about this. I might just recover the point a few more times throughout the video. I would actually recommend do as many R$ upgrades as you can afford right away, even if you don't need them. And then when you come to certain stages, you can do bot slowing. Like, look at this. Already, I'm trying to buy an upgrade. There we go, bought one upgrade because I was already having some trouble pulling this race off. So that's my first R$ upgrade. But why would I recommend you buy all R$ upgrades right off the start? Well, that's so you can do more bot slowing and bot management early on in the race. For instance, at that speed snap, you would have lost it a whole bunch of times, like 20, 30, 40 times until the speeds don't stop going down. I did a video on that recently. If you want to know more about that, I'll put that at the very end here. It's actually a Formula E video, but that doesn't matter because the principle is the same. In that video, I show you how you turn the bots from hard to easy. So people were asking me to do certain Formula E races, so the first thing I did is I made it as hard as I possibly could, and I won the race that way, which was extremely difficult, especially when I'm obeying all the rules, like no off track, etc. And then I made the bots as easy as possible just to show the difference. And the difference was shocking. Now this race, I just wasn't able to, I was just not finishing it in enough time. And I know for a fact you need a good amount of upgrades at a certain point in this event because I've done it before. So I didn't mind adding the upgrades. But for me here, the problem was I'm starting with a base account and I can't afford any more than one upgrade. Like, I could have bought more with gold, and I probably should have spent all the gold. Well, no, wait a second, that's really stupid. You don't want to do that if you don't have to. Sorry, that's a rookie mistake. You don't want to waste your gold. Gold's the hardest thing to get, and you see it's adding up, and I've got no R, but all this gold. Doesn't matter. I just have to earn more R. In the old days, you could rerun an event, a stage. Like, so this race, once I finish this race, in the old days, I would have been able to rerun that race. And sometimes that was a great thing to do if you had a really high-paying race and you just run it again and again and again. But, ooh, I actually didn't mean to cut that. Anyway, I mean, it's not a big deal. At a certain point, I'm going to be cutting like crazy just to try to get stages done. But at this point, I wasn't trying to. So why don't they allow that anymore? Well, that's because for some reason, there would be really weird glitches when they allowed you to rerun a race in a special event. Don't really know why. There's a big cut. So they stopped that quite a long time ago. Like, I don't know, it might have been even 4 years ago now. But that used to be an option. And this really weird things would happen that they couldn't seem to solve. And also, it's not really necessary for the most part. But when you're an early racer, like when you're still stuck in amateur or pro-am or something like that, sometimes races in these special events are substantially higher paying than what you can get in your career. So I remember times I would rerun races again and again and again because the earnings were massive. And then I could just go buy cars, do all sorts of stuff. So now, well, that's a bit of a problem. And right with a new account, there's so few options. I don't remember if they were giving me the manager option yet. But even then, you want to save that for a longer race because it doesn't get offered all the time for free. Maybe I should have bought it with gold, but at the same token, I was trying to save up my gold because I knew I might really need it. Okay, so there we go. I had to finish with a big lead. Interestingly enough, what I didn't show you is my first time doing that stage, I had a really big lead, and I decided to quit and retry when not have as big of a lead. Okay, here we are at Silverstone, and it's already stage 3, endurance event. Obviously, this is going to be very easy. Well, maybe you don't know that. This is going to be very easy. I'm just going to tell you that. We're not going to do this whole race. If you can't do 10.7 kilometers, there's no way you're going to be finishing this event without fully upgrading your car. So, yeah, I mean, but well, you know what? We'll let this go for a bit. This is a tricky corner. It's like Parabolica at Monza. Of course, it's not, but it's a wide sweeping hairpin. Those can be tricky to do. So maybe we will let this go for a while, just so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm finding my braking points. Don't really know where they are in this car. It's been a long time since I drove it, so I'm taking it easy. Notice how I'm not overfilling the timer. I'm doing this on purpose. Not going to pass this guy. I don't remember how much time I get for a lap here. It might be something like 12 seconds because this is a really short circuit. I actually made a video that has all the times in it, but I don't want to go check right now. 63, 60. So that would have been 62. So that, yeah, good guess on my part, 12 seconds. Now, that first corner is called Cop's Corner. You can always get an overtake there. This is Maggots, and you got to be careful here. You want to go a little bit wide and then get on that throttle right when you turn around like that. Beautiful. That's a really nice way of taking Maggots. And I don't remember the names of all the corners here. Is this Luffield? This might be Luffield, or is the next one Luffield? Huh, I forget. Anyhow, one of them's Luffield. I'm pretty sure about that. And I probably should have passed him. And then we'll be heading into Cop's Corner again. I'm going to show you something really interesting here, though. Let's fast forward a bit. All right, so almost at the end of a lap again here. And I decided I don't want to start another lap because that's just going to give me a whole bunch more time that I don't necessarily need. So here's an interesting trick. When you drive backwards, your distance doesn't register, but look at the second place marker. It's following me because my distance isn't tracking. So if you don't want to start another lap and you got time to kill, you can be a little bit silly, just like I am being right now. And I don't know if I backed up enough there. Let's just see. I don't know if there's any benefit to this, unless the game is logging how many laps you run. Well, then there might be a benefit to that, right? Let's see here, and 10.7. Oh, so close, so close. Yeah, I better hurry up. I'm fooling around too much. Okay, watch this. This is funny though. When you as soon as I cross the line, there you go. You can stop. As soon as you cross that line, you've gone enough. And there we go. So it's tempting in an endurance race to go really far, get a whole bunch of fame and a whole bunch of R dollars. Don't do it. You're going to hurt yourself later on. All right, so again, I've got one upgrade. And this is an average speed race. Some of these I actually started to find a little bit difficult. Is this the one? Nah, I don't think this is it. Well, we'll see here. You got to get past everyone really fast. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I'm driving. Whoa! Don't mean to be doing that. Don't need to be hitting people when you're trying to really get through a race fast. You don't want damage mid-race because that'll slow you down. All right, coming up here, there's a section the bots never drive. I won't be driving there this time either. Gotta watch for damage. Cracked windshield, and I would have restarted this stage. It's pretty rare you get performance hindering damage without having a cracked windshield, so I'm not going to restart. Mild contact is okay, not heavy contact. Woo boy, getting a little bit loose there. You could be taking it off track, I think. Or did this one say no off track? Pretty early on it said no off track, and in this particular event, this is old school. No off track means no off track. It means instant fail. Whereas in the last couple of years now, no off track might mean 2 seconds, might mean 1 second, might mean 1.5 seconds. But this is old school. Where no off track is no off track. There's no fooling around, man. Okay, now check out what happens at this corner here, all right? Watch where I drive. That is not off track. You can do that during time trials. You can do that anytime you want to. That's not off track because that is a corner of Silverstone for another variant. And so that's why they allow you to drive there. Kind of funny, isn't it? But of course, Silverstone has many different variants. And we've got them, I think we have all of them in Real Racing 3. Pretty sure. See, there's the Grand Prix circuit, there's the 2009 Bridge circuit, there's the National circuit, and I can't remember the rest, but... well, I mean, there'd be some older variants we don't see, but modern variants. They just updated this circuit again. So, like, circuits are also licensed, so they do have to keep up with requirements that the circuits might have. If the circuits have had huge changes, then they have to make changes here. Some of the changes annoy me sometimes because it's like, wait a minute, that's my braking point. You removed my braking marker. I am not happy with you. So yes, this race is difficult. As you can see, I'm not in the lead yet, and I do need to be in the lead. And my average speed just got up there, which is great. So now I'm gonna a little bit of tap on this guy, gonna bump past him. Woo boy, that was a little bit too close for comfort. Watching that average speed, I might even give up a bit. Don't like his huge leads, but I also don't want to do that again. Without going off track. Win without going off track. There we go. And more gold here and there. You know what? I completely forgot about those once in a while. But anyways, went back to collect them. You can see I'm an hour and a half into this event already. So obviously this one took me a while. Stay in first place. So what am I doing right there? I was waiting approximately half a second before rolling forward. Why? Because I wanted to time this first corner. I need them to be out of my way so I can keep it pinned like that. So I took a few attempts to work that out. Now, this also depends on how the bots are stacked up. So sometimes I didn't get them all in the first corner because sometimes there was more Porsches in the front, and the Porsches and the Mercedes are different as far as their specs. So now I gotta stay in the lead for 50 seconds. I want to keep the field close to me. Honestly, I'd rather have the second place bot off on his own. I would rather have third place way back there, but oh well. I wasn't really thinking about that during this event. Woo, are they ever far back? Well, that's okay for now. Okay, coming up on Cop's Corner here, swinging quite far to the left, and blast through this. I should think about reeling in the field pretty soon because I've got to give up my lead and then take it again at the 50-second mark. All right, well, might as well get that done earlier. I'm just double checking the requirements. Yep, might as well get that done sooner than later in case it goes wrong. Like if I accidentally let 2 or 3 people pass me. You want to be checking your mirror. So I want to be on a straight. Ooh boy, I got 2 guys side by side, 3 guys. Okay, this could get interesting. I really don't want to have a whole bunch of bots getting around me. There we go, second place. Let's get back to first right now. And then all I have to do is control this race. It's already getting pretty challenging. Like, this is old school recommended PR. And really what that means is these are the hardest events in the game. So it's supposed to be that way because most events Especially for older time players like me, most events are boring. By the way, right down this front straight here, that's where there's a lot of changes in the start-finish straight. So like required PR events, what does that mean? Well, that means that if you don't have enough upgrades, you literally cannot enter the race. That is not this. You can see I did not have enough PR, but I'm allowed in. Then we get LTS, which stands for Limited Time Series. Now I think they just call them Limited Series, which are the most boring. There's 45 races, finish the races, and you get your car. Back in the old days, there used to be ones that were even longer than that. So, and some people don't mind those. Run a whole bunch of races and you're done. In fact, the amount of time I invested in this event is way more than I'd invest in an LTS, but it's also substantially more enjoyable. I would much rather do an event like this, even if I'm banging my head because it's so difficult, versus driving where nobody is competitive. Even if I try to increase the difficulty, it's just a joke. So I prefer it where it's really difficult, borderline impossible to pass, because that's woo nuts. I guess this isn't no off track. I was definitely all 4 tires off track. That's surprising. I thought this was no off track. Oh, well, I could have made this a lot easier on myself. Oh well. I've really been working on my on-track driving for the last year or so. I was so bored when I was playing this game in the past that there was times I would just cut like crazy, and unfortunately, if you're cutting up the track all the time, you actually don't know proper braking points or acceleration points, and that affects your time trial performances, which is where we make a lot of money in this. Whoa, that got really close. Oh boy, how close was that? 335.900, 335.9. Whoa! Okay, well, he was 0.19 seconds behind me. So that's a little bit too close. This one also took me a while. Weekly time trial tournaments is what I was talking about, money-making spot. I've earned 300 gold a couple of times recently, which is really quite amazing for me to pull that off. It's not easy to do, so I'm very happy to do that. Group A finish in a weekly time trial pays 300 gold. Some people don't realize this, but in weekly time trials, it's different than other time trials. So time trial competitions have a different scale versus regular time trials in the game. For instance, Group A in a time trial tournament, be it a special weekly one or just a special time trial tournament, Group A is 0.1%, okay? So if there's 300,000 people that are in the competition, only 300 get Group A. In the other part, like in the main part of the game, as in career, in road collection, motorsports, or the exclusive series, Group A just means the top 1%. So, if there's 300,000 racers, the top 3,000 are in Group A. So it's quite different. Basically, everything goes down a group for the regular game. So Group A becomes Group B becomes Group C, so on and so on, as far as the way it works. So then, because some people say, I don't get it, I'm a Group A driver, how come I can't earn 300? Well, you're a Group A driver in the main part of the game, which is still impressive, don't get me wrong. Finishing in the top 1% of drivers is incredible. But something else to consider is that a lot of people don't try very hard for those time trials. So they're a little easier to get a higher place. All right, there we go. Although I know a lot of people that's where they really hone their skills, is in those regular time trials. That's where you practice. Especially since if you fail in a regular time trial, you're just done. The lap doesn't count versus a weekly time trial. Okay, this is a longer race, so I hired Michael because I wanted to log some R dollars because, well, I need R dollars. Now, it's a 3-lap race. I don't think there was anything special about this race. I really just need to win this race, which really shouldn't be that difficult. 3 laps this early on. I still just have 1 upgrade. So I'm not gonna show you the whole race because that's just gonna be kind of long and boring, but I'll still show you an entire lap so you can see what I'm doing. Got to be really careful going through Eau Rouge Rowdy on here first time. Ooh, went off track then. Oh, contact. That's really bad. No crack. It's really bad. I would have overtaken like 3 or 4 more cars if I didn't have that contact. So you definitely want to be careful, be cognitive of that. Now, obviously, it wasn't a big deal because I didn't restart this race. If it was a horrible deal, you wouldn't be seeing this. And I'm already in 8th place, and we're like not really halfway through a lap yet. From corner 1 to Lacombe corner at the top of Kemmel is 25% of a lap. So we're probably Pouan corner is right around the halfway point. And Pouan is the next corner. Now, believe it or not, where I just drove, it's actually not off track. In Real Racing 3, the rules are you just have to have your inside tires on track. Ooh, another big tap. But I'm already in 5th place. We're going to warp ahead here pretty quick. I'll make it obvious that I'm warping just so you can know. But this is, you can see how I'm driving this track. I'm just going to keep driving it that way. Whoops, a little bit loose there. Here we are getting on to, so after this corner is 22% of the lap. It's very important that you nail that braking and acceleration point. And oh my goodness, I'm in 2nd place and I have to win. So I better hustle. You are going to see some major lawnmower mode. What's lawnmower mode? Well, use your imagination for a few seconds because pretty soon I shall show you what lawnmower mode is. And that is when we go off the track at a very high speed and control the car. Because I'm going to lose this race if I don't do that. Martinez gets a smack, and then I have to slow down. There we go. Let Martinez catch up a little bit. All right. There we go. Done that race. As you can see, it was a longer race. Pretty decent pay, actually, because, again, I hired the manager. Now, this is where it starts to get difficult. I had to add quite a few upgrades for this one. Still $R upgrades, but this, I could not do this without adding some upgrades. And yeah, that's the nature of the beast for these types of events. Eventually, you're going to reach a bottleneck where you're going to have to buy upgrades to finish certain stages. A lot of the time, it's where there's a speed requirement, but not always. We've had events where the hardest race was actually a cup race. In fact, I'm thinking about with the Bugatti Bolide, there was a brutal cup race there. And whoa, was that ever close? How close was that? 29,518. And yeah, I did not win that by very much. All right, so as you can see, I've got 7 upgrades. Can't afford any more. So I've got to make this work. This one is very tricky. You got to go to the left and block him, but then you got to watch the bottom line and get back down and block that and control this. And woo boy. There you go. Okay, now there. Wow, they took that. Oh my goodness, 3 wide. Okay. Okay, well, let's go through Eau Rouge Radillon. I did a tiny little bit of a braking or a lift there. Not sure if I have to. I might have to push that later. Now, as you can see, from this point on, I'm really in the lead. I just have to not make a major mistake. Like this, I went in way too fast. Obviously, off track, it doesn't matter. But I went in way too fast. Okay, so Bruxelles here, we're on those brakes kind of early. Bruxelles is difficult in a car like this. If you get on the throttle too early like that, you're going to wash out. So I was on the throttle too early. That was not off track. Pouan corner, which is the next corner, definitely going to be a little bit of a heavier braking point than a car like this. And then you're keeping it full throttle for a bit. Now here's where I kept getting into trouble. On the brakes quite early here. But yeah, it's not bad. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. That was just a little bit off track, believe it or not. Not as bad as you might have thought. Now, yes, I'm breaking a rule. I'm going way in the lead. But that's just because I'm trying to dial in. I'm still working on my braking acceleration points for this car. I can reel the cars back in later, which I will do. So, got to get on those brakes really early coming up here. That's a full throttle corner. Very important to know that. On the brakes as soon as that curve starts. And, well, I got on even earlier. Check my rear view there. Santos is alone. That's perfect. I don't necessarily want a whole... Oh, they're not too far behind him. But when there's just one car, it's easier to block one car and control him. It's difficult if there's a whole horde. All right, there we go. We are just racking up the races here. And yeah, I did not finish with very much of a lead. Without going off track. Win without going off track. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This can be another tricky one to really nail this. As you can see, I've got the volume on now. Eventually, I figured out that I really should just turn off that music because it gets irritating. But then I end up adding music on the transitional parts. Okay, so there's no time requirement here. My trick is, where do I need to be? So I lost this a few times trying to figure out about where should I be. And that is a good spot. I want to keep a spot where I can stay full throttle. And I got to swing way over to the And then we're just going to keep this. That's right, I was doing a swing up to the left and back down again, but you're going uphill, so I think you give up speed. Wow, I ended up passing this more than I thought. That's pretty decent. And that is the end of that stage. On to stage 4. And still 7 upgrades. And as you can see, I kept having to download assets along the way. I didn't want to download all assets because I was never going to get back into the whole game again here. After this is done, I'm going to kiss all my work goodbye. I will delete the game and reinstall it again. And just because I don't want to have any mix-ups between this profile and my old profile. Now this does start to get tricky. This does start to get difficult. Like these rolling start elimination races are difficult. Want to get a nice overtake here and power up Camel. Man, this feels stressful though. I mean, I've got 7 seconds plus another 20. Okay, feeling good watching the left. I'm on those brakes pretty good. Okay, oh, I forgot. I don't have to worry about off track. Lawnmower mode. And pit maneuvers and all that other stuff. He was getting me. I didn't want him in my way. I probably shouldn't have done that. That's probably going to damage me. Oh, silly ME7. Oh boy. This still feels like this could be difficult. But does he overbrake? No. Oh yeah, he did. He overbraked for Pouan. Awesome. Okay, so now I got 40 seconds plus the 6. No, that is 40 seconds plus the 6. That's easily going to get me to the end of the lap, which means I have lawnmower mode up my sleeve yet. I think I should be okay. I know from here on to the last corner I can stay full throttle. Woo! Gotta be careful there though. If you take the wrong race line, you can't stay full throttle. So remember to watch your race line. We're getting down to 20 seconds here in just a little bit. Okay, well, lawnmower mode, baby. Hey, Martinez, remember me? I was mowing the grass last time we met. Oh, and there is Santos. Perfect. First place. Now, you might say, don't do that, stay on track. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead and keep everything on track in an event like this. Buy more upgrades. I really don't mind. But people want to know, what's the cheapest I can earn this car for? Well, to do that, you need to do tricks. If you don't want to do tricks, spend more currency. I will not be offended if you want to spend your hard-earned currency. I don't mind at all. Okay, so getting down to the wire here, reeling Santos in. Perfect, I can let him pass me now, it doesn't matter. But there we go. That ends things. And you can see my R is building up still. That doesn't buy you much. These upgrades get very expensive. Still, 7 upgrades. You can see that I'm getting quite a lot below recommended PR. Now this is a longer race. We're also going to skip quite a lot of this race. It's interesting. There is some strategy here because it's both an average speed and you've got to get a dozen overtakes on this car. So you want to be careful that don't want to give him the pit maneuver or anything like that. You don't want to affect his speed too much. So you sometimes see me grinding against a car, and that's to make the car nail the brakes. You don't want to do that too much in an event like this, because then it's going to take him forever to catch up. Like, there's a wonderful place for me to hit speed, but then what do I do about Santos? Because he's way behind me. So I got to let him catch up, obviously. And it does affect your average speed. Okay, let him get me there, and then I'll get him back. I didn't get him back. Come on, go get Santos. Get him right there. Let him get me again. Oops. And then you get stuck. Oh, this is killing my average speed, which I forgot about. So there's a lot of this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it's really not that difficult. So we're going to warp ahead here in just a little bit. And yeah, so you don't want to lose him too much. There, I was just checking those requirements again. So let Santos by me. I'm going to use the same warping spot again, just so might as well, because it's been steady. Let Santos get ahead of me, which is fine. I should really get an overtake. Oh well. Anyway, it was not hard. It's not hard to get a dozen overtakes. If you're having trouble, don't forget to take those off-track cuts. Okay, that's how you can really rack up some more average speed. And that's about it. Obviously here, I had to just forget about Santos. This is going to ruin bot slowing. but I really need to keep my average speed up. I'm not going to take any chances. Big time lawnmower mode here. Tilt A is going to make that a lot more difficult. Tilt B lets me coast, which is how I regain. I'm giving up a little bit, but pretty sure it's 210. Yeah, so I really did that about as low as I could. Driver level 12. Oh, I'm so happy. No, almost getting to the point where I could afford another $R upgrade. Still have 7. So 150. This is challenging with just 7 upgrades. Doing this again, I would recommend at this point that you should have 9 upgrades. I would recommend you do that as soon as possible. 9 upgrades is the maximum you can get with just $R. After that, you have to start spending gold. I really would recommend you do that as soon as possible, and that's what I should have done, but I couldn't because I was starting with a brand new account. I'm starting this like a brand new player, so that's it's not easy. So I guess this does go to show you that even a brand new player could do events like this, but I tell you, I had to do a lot of outside work to eventually get extra currency, which I'm going to talk about later. But a new player can't do this. Like, you're not going to have the skills unless you have a lot of gaming experience with other racing games. You're not going to have the skills to do this. So I'm not saying a brand new player could do this. I'm just showing this from a new profile, because sometimes people will say, oh, well, I can't afford that. Like, to do this race like I did in 2018, I believe it was $2,064,300 $R and 325 gold. That's what I spent back in 2018. So I'm going to see if I can do it cheaper this time around. And then you get back 100 gold and 200,000 $R, so it ends up being $1,964,300 $R and 225 gold, something like that. You can see it in my playlist video. Basically about 2 million $R and 225 gold. But I'm going to see if I can do it cheaper this time around. And, well, we'll find out. Now, this one's tricky, right? Because I've got to keep this all on track. Ooh, boy! I ate it here a few times. I did not enter that last corner properly. I gave up. I bet you I gave up a whole second right there on the last corner. Oh my goodness, this is stressful. Come on, finish line. Oh! I ended up having more than a second. Oof. No off track allowed, baby. Old school off track. Believe me, I actually like the old school. Okay, this is a long race. Again, I'm not going to do the whole thing. Very easy race, honestly, when you've got 4 laps to get it done. So it's not too bad here. It is a rolling start though, so I'm going to cut under these guys a little bit. But they're not, I mean, it's Paganis. Interesting thing about these Paganis, they do not have good brakes. Their brakes are really about as good as this Mercedes, which isn't whoa, come on, man, what's up with that? Unnecessary roughness. Oh well. Surprising that the Pagani brakes aren't that great. It's often that way with Paganis, I find. I don't know why. Oh, that's getting a little bit sketch. But obviously, if you want to go off track, you can. Which again makes this very easy. We're going to warp ahead at the exact same point, about 2/3 of a way through a lap. 2/3? That's closer to 3/4. And there you go. So you're going to see what I'm talking about here. I mean, I'm taking it easy at this point, but lawnmower mode's always an option if you're having trouble. Or do a combination. The only thing it hurts is your clean race bonus, which is really minuscule to begin with. So I really wouldn't worry about giving up clean race bonus too much. The only way to get your full clean race bonus is all 4 tires must be on track the entire race, and you can't touch anybody if you want a full clean race bonus. So in my opinion, from my testing, the amount of extra time that takes is not worth your savings. Your earnings per minute are worse by doing that. So you might as well just go take your 2 tires off track, give up some clean race bonus, and finish faster. Earnings per minute are important. Now, I had said I was only going to show you 1 lap. Obviously, that's not true because we didn't warp ahead yet. I thought I'd show you a little bit more because a mistake I've made in the past is that I've cut out content, and then people end up saying, hey, that race was really hard for me. Can you please show me that race? And then I end up doing another video. So we'll boil this down to 2 laps. So I'll give you 2 full laps instead of the 4. First lap, 2:09. Wow. Obviously, some of that's because of heavy traffic. Ooh, I did not optimize that corner. Oh, that was bad. Gave up at least half a second there, maybe even a full second. Now, I think with these upgrades, you could take this full throttle. Let's just see if I figured that out. Yes, very particular race line to pull it off, but look at the gains. Holy smokes. Wow, that is amazing gains. So there you go. Watch the left, the distance markers. You got to be careful there, or you just go lawnmower mode if you want to. But pretty sweet, hey? So you can see this is easily possible without ever going off track, because I'm going to be in 4th place by the exit of Bruxelles. This is Bruxelles. Well, I guess not. That Pagani's taking it better than me. Well, fine then. Pouan corner for sure. Maybe here. Right here, I think. They take that corner, the corner with no name. I think some places, some people call that Speaker's Corner, I think. Ooh, dangerously close to losing it at Pouan. And I forget the names of the other corners. But, oh well, it's not bad. I'm a little sloppy through here. That's not, oh no, that's sloppy. And obviously we're warping ahead to, I'm in 1st place and I'm not going too fast here. Santos on my rear end. And, you know, obviously not a hard race because it's so long. Probably would have been another good place for me to have hired the manager. I should have done that in retrospect. I'm really fine-tuned to never spend gold unless I have to. But in this case, I probably should have. Whatever. And yeah, there we go. So I'll reel Santos in here. No, that's not Santos. That's Sinning? Not Sing. Sing. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize to anyone who has that name. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, so I don't want to butcher your name there. Level 13 player level. What did I get for R? Oh, that would have been a good time to have hired the manager. Oh well, hindsight is always 20/20. Let's get on to stage 6. And right here, I did have to buy some more upgrades. I lost some of that footage just because there was so many attempts on this, and I just didn't have some of the footage saved because I don't keep it all. It can be an awful lot of footage, and it's all recorded in high quality, so it gets to be huge. So a stage like this where I might spend 45 minutes, well, that's a lot of footage when you're recording at the highest settings possible. Okay, so I've got a very specific part on the track that I use, because this isn't just about the speed you see of 226. It also says you have to hit 233.4, and it's frustrating because I hit 233.7 before upgrading, but it failed me for going off track. So apparently it's lying. I think you need 234, not 233.4. Anyhow, there we go. It made me angry. So here you can see I had 9 upgrades to do that last race. And this race also, this one isn't as bad. I think I did this first try. Pretty sure I did. This autocross, it's not difficult. We'll see here if you're familiar with the track. And I really wasn't very familiar with my braking points. I'm kind of guessing, honestly. But I've driven Nürburgring enough to have a pretty good idea of what it's going to be like. And there we go. That's pretty good. A lot of people don't realize how you can take this last corner. This is where steering assist high is going to fight you a little bit, because the actual path through this corner is different than what it appears. You can take this like, right, that's not off track. So I didn't get, well, that's still more than a second off the actual required time. No worries there. So 6.3 coming up here. With this one, we've got to watch our fuel consumption. And we're going to do this one right through, actually, because this is probably one of those events that people will say to me later, I had a lot of trouble, please show me the whole thing. So, first thing you want to do is control the race. So you see us slam into people like that, they nail the brakes. Now, I'm in a really bad spot for my braking point, but I had to block 2 drivers. I did not want to give up the inside line. Now I can control things. So notice how I'm doing a lot of coasting. If you're familiar with Formula E racing in this game, you want to use that same technique. So you just want to lift off the throttle early so you can coast. Wow, Martinez, what happened to you? They must have crashed. That's crazy. Sorry, it's kind of funny. And I just have all sorts of time here. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Martinez is taking it really easy. So I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch my distance, and then that tells me how much I can coast. So we had, what, 10 point something units of fuel, 3 laps. So that's going to be about 3.4, 3.5 a lap. Like if it was, okay, if it was 9.9 units of fuel, that's 3.3 a lap. Now I know it was 10 point something, and most likely that's because on your very first lap, you're burning a little bit more because you're starting from a dead stop. Now, fuel consumption in this game really has nothing to do with fuel. It's a time function. So whenever your finger's on that accelerator, you're burning fuel. So that's why in stages where there's slipstreaming, you want to get as much slipstreaming as you can because you're covering more ground for the amount of time that you're on the throttle. Same with, that's why more upgrades benefit you because you're not more fuel efficient, you're covering more distance with the same amount of fuel, which actually that basically is the definition of being more fuel efficient. You are getting more, yeah. So, anyway, so 3.5 units. I've got more than enough left. So I'm doing a good job on my current rate here. And you know what? We are going to skip ahead here because this is just going to be boring. You've already seen what I'm doing. So we are going to skip an entire lap. I'm gonna warp ahead here at a certain point. And that was a really good point. Now, I'm just going to show you for a second here that when you look at the control options, you don't even have tilt A as an option. Okay, so you have to be coasting. So that's why if you're not used to tilt B controls, well, I'm sorry. It's a really good control option to use because it gives you the ability to coast. Coasting is wonderful when you want to recover from sliding on track or off track, but especially like on track, it's very important because in a lot of cars, once you start sliding with tilt A, you're just going to keep on sliding because if you hit the brakes, well, that's going to make you skid. And if you do nothing, you're full throttle, which, well, in a real life car, if you throw it sideways full throttle and keep it full throttle, you slide. So tilt B, you just get off that throttle, regain control, and get right back on it. Sometimes you're off the throttle for like 1/10 to 2/10 of a second. That's it. That's all you need. So here you can see I've actually got a good amount of fuel left over. Oh boy. Taking that a little bit close to off track. Oh, and there's a gaggle, so I'm not necessarily going to let them catch up too much. But you can see there's way more than enough fuel to get this done with $R upgrades, although, yeah, don't remember the exact upgrades I bought. I think I was low on R, and I actually had to use some gold upgrades. That was simply because I just didn't have enough R dollars to get more. Anyway, you're going to notice some strange audio glitches. That was just a problem with, I had so many restarts. This is so difficult with this many upgrades. It's brutal, actually. So I don't recommend this. This is extremely difficult to do, but it's an option, so I'm showing it to you. Step 1, get him loose. You got to brake late so you can take him out a little bit, control him a little bit, and not too much, but I'm controlling him. This said no damage and no off track, so I'm going to carefully shove him off track right here. And that's not off track. Now, I've got to hit speed because I've only got enough room to hit speed once here. So watch this. I'm going to hit speed. This is the only place I can hit speed on this whole track. Well, that's only half true. I could hit speed on the other section of this, but then I got to drive into the wall full speed, which will damage me because I'm hitting the wall too fast. Okay, Tan did not get free yet. He gets free because that's not a very big section of the wall. So you got to hurry because Tan will get out of the trap. And so then I'm rushing back to my same point. And I can't go off track. You got to be so careful. Very fast turnaround here without going off track. Oh, that got me nervous. Oh, Tan, come on, stay put for just a bit longer. Okay, and let's go. Now I basically anticipate hitting speed. Oh, look, Tan got free. So I'm anticipating it. I'm on those brakes pretty well at 260. Yep, Tan's free, which actually isn't a bad thing because now I'll let Tan catch up. So right here, you could hit speed, but you're going to have to drive into the wall full speed. I could not do it without getting damaged. There's not enough room to throw yourself sideways, and then Tan's always catching up to you. So this is a stage where you might have had to buy a lot of upgrades, or you do a crazy stunt like I did. And, well, there you go. Now, I'm going to be careful here. I'm not going to let Tan get too close to me. Tan's pretty fast. Look at this. You can see these bots are fast. The sucky part about some of these speed stages is that I won the stage like 50 times, but then I lost it. Like the stage earlier that took me so long. where the speed target was 226, but there was also a speed record target. All that made the bots difficult. Okay, let's take a look at my upgrades, because you're going to see I actually have 2 exhaust, and because I needed more speed, and here I'm adding a drivetrain. So I don't have all R$ upgrades yet, because the suspension and brakes are further R$ upgrades I could have bought, but I just didn't have the currency. Now this is really difficult for me. I lost this one a lot. This is an elimination race. If you go back and you look at my original playlist for this, actually I'm going to post the video up right here. So let's make note of that 50-minute marker. It was actually a lot easier. By the way, that wasn't off track. It's a lot easier because I didn't spend as much time losing the races because I upgraded earlier. So that just, if you go watch my original race, it's shocking the difference of how much easier the bots are. These are way harder bots. This is not off track, but very close to being off track. You've got to know all the tricks in the game if you really want to maximize saving currency. So here I've got extra time right now, but this is brutally hard for me. This was very, very difficult. So I've still got 30 seconds to spare, but if I don't get these guys soon, I do not. I did this a lot before adding that one upgrade. Like, look, I'm getting down to just 20 seconds left. 19, 18. There we go. Got that one. Whee! So you can see I'm getting very close to going off track. This is the first time I'm doing this particular race and feeling a little bit relaxed. At this point, I'm all done with my instant servicing and instant R&D, so every time I have to reservice the car. I can't just do a cloud restore, because if I do a cloud save, I ruin my progress, guys. I'm telling you, I gave up a lot to give you guys this videos. So please be appreciative. This was a huge amount of work. I was not able to do any cloud saving. So usually what I do in a really hard race, I cloud save. I run until I'm out of servicing, and then I cloud restore. And you just keep doing that. It saves yourself a whole lot of effort. Well, that was no option because I couldn't save this in another profile. I tried, and it would not let me load another profile because now things are kind of connected to your device. Now, I'm going to turn around now. You're going to think this is crazy. Why am I doing that? I only have to finish in second place. I want to be as far away from first place as possible, just to see if that could, I don't know. I could have just parked it, actually, as I think about this. Bot slowing isn't possible when you're below recommended PR. So all this is bot management. By the way, thankfully that's not a thing anymore. Really old school events, if you went off track after the race ended, you failed it. We're going way back, though. We're going back like probably 2015. All right. Gosh, was that ever difficult. Now, all of these start to get so difficult. All of the races now are very difficult. This one is kind of fun too, though. So average speed requirement, we'll do all of this race because all of the races are tricky at this point. I generally like average speed requirement races, but it's tricky. I need to get in the lead, so I have to take a really bad path because I don't want to be, like, they're fast. Man, that Zonda was there fast. Because they're more modern. Well, the Zonda's an old car. Oh well. If you take this right, you stay full throttle. I don't know if you noticed that. So that time I didn't go off track. Really got to get that average speed requirement up here quickly. So you got to watch your braking points. Very short acceleration point here because you need to set up this acceleration point. I hope I said that right. I meant to say really short acceleration point, then you're on the brakes early, then you're on the gas again. I'll go over that again at the next lap, if I remember. And then from this point, we're full throttle through this chicane. If you've got brake assist on, you're not, so don't. Brake assist on, this will be impossible with brake assist on with the upgrades I've got. There's no way. And still haven't seen that average speed get there yet. Hopefully we see that soon. At this point, I just have to be really careful. Drive a tiny bit cautiously. So not too cautiously, just a tiny bit cautiously. Because I don't want to give up much. That's pretty good. I could have been on those brakes earlier. I should have had a straighter line through that corner. On the brakes pretty early for this corner. Woo, took it close to the barrier, didn't I? That barrier has never stopped being intimidating for me. I forget the special event, but there was a long time ago. I wonder if it was this one, actually. where I had fought so hard. That wasn't off track, by the way. I fought so hard to win the race. I hit the barrier at the very end of the last lap, lost the race, and spent another hour to get back to that same point. Oh, it can be brutal. So I already hit average speed once, but I got to be careful. Oh, that's not optimal, so I'll have to be careful because you can't go too far over there without it being off track. Okay, here we are again. Watch the road on your right. That's your braking marker. Acceleration early, then on the brakes quite early again. And then on the throttle now. Should have watched my race line better. So that's what I'm talking about. There's a very short acceleration point there. This hairpin is more than 180 degrees. There we go. That's decent. Obviously, at this point, I am not paying attention to second place. That's an afterthought. First, I've got to hit that average speed, and I've got to feel very comfortable with that. If I've got lots left over, I might reel Liam in a little bit, but not unless I have a lot of average speed banked, which I do not. I am not comfortable. Now, after I round this corner, watch on your right, there's both a banner and there's a little road. The second banner there, between the second banner and the road is your braking point. That's better, still not great, but that's a lot better. Okay, I've got some extra banked average speed. I could give up a little bit, but I'm losing it. And I don't remember the requirement. I'm gonna keep it pinned. Oh my, so I didn't necessarily have that much extra. So I'm glad I did that. I could have let it off the throttle a bit, but it just, at this point, it's not gonna matter much. This next stage, brutal stage, brutal. You're gonna see something completely shocking. This will shock you, all right? Pagani, I've got to tailgate the Pagani for 20 seconds consecutively, non-stop. So phase 1, take him out, nail the Pagani. So, and phase 2, block the Pagani. All right. We're going to do kind of a repeat of what I did before, but I was having trouble with it, so something interesting happens that well, you'll see. This is hilarious. Take him off track. Now, obviously, I can be off track here. Oh, that did not work. Okay, so I went back and forth a few times, so we're going to skip some of that. We're going to skip ahead here. If it wasn't consecutive tailgating, then I could just sit here and let him drive by me again and again, but it's not. So now I need to get myself ready. I need to block him. Okay, so here comes Lim. Lim? Yeah, that's Lim. I'm gonna smash him. Why not? I don't know. I'm just, at this point, I'm frustrated. And come on, control that. Where's the Zonda? All right, Zonda. Here we go. There's Lim. So I want to shove Lim off track. Big time smash him. And okay, perfect. There we go. Now I just need to get behind him and collect that tailgating. Well, where is he? Where'd he go? Oh my gosh. All right, I told you. You'd see something that would blow your mind. Okay, if we get stuck in a wall, we auto-extract in 3 seconds. If a bot gets stuck in a wall, he's got to fight his way out. So look at this. I just have to stay behind him and I'm getting my tailgating. Incredibly difficult to pull off, but there you go. You might need to buy more upgrades. No shame in that. It gets a lot harder yet. Okay, so for this next race, this is the make or break time, and I had to earn piles of currency. So what did I have to do, guys? Well, I watched ads. I watched dozens and dozens of ads, and all of this is wasted time for me. I had to run some basic races. Like I did this speed snap at Melbourne. I probably did this, I don't know, 50 to 100 times. It's actually the fastest way to earn currency at this point in the game. I did the math because I actually did recordings to see what's the fastest way. And that's really fast. What else did I do? I did piles of endurance racing to build up fame to get more gold. All of this is going to be thrown away as soon as I am done the event and I delete the game. So guys, I'm just showing you, I made some sacrifices, but oh well. So I did something that I normally don't do, okay? And I'm going to show you, first of all, I've still got decent upgrades here. Now here is taking this properly, and very interesting speed snap here. It's a speed snap and a speed record. It's brutal. This is the type of event that has given EA a bad name. 232, no problem. But wait a second, why do I fail? Well, because the requirement is actually 325 something. Okay, if you back up, instant fail. Okay, so watch this, because you can back up a little bit, but we can't go backwards. I'm doing a careful U-turn, Of course, there's trial and error here. I lost this several times doing this, and this will give you about a 3 to 4 kilometer an hour boost if you take a really wide line like this. Thing is, I still didn't have enough. Look at what I needed back in 2018. That's what I needed for upgrades, and that was the cost. I don't have that. So this was my best attempt, and it's not good enough. So I'm doing something I never do, and that is, I'm skipping this one. I'm going to spend 60 gold on the skip, and that might be the cheapest way to earn this car. Now, unfortunately, I still need to buy more upgrades to finish the rest of the races because they're very difficult, and I cranked the bots so much from all my attempts. So I still had to watch piles of more ads to earn currency to do this for you guys. But hey, I don't mind the challenge. So this is, Dubai is challenging. I probably spent an hour on this race before I finally bought some extra upgrades. Very, very, very difficult. I found I had to really maximize where I was driving. I'm braking right when this green ends. By the way, the weird thing about going back and watching the 2018 video, it's almost, I call it the pre-atomic era. Because when you look at the old videos, there's so much green everywhere. Like, they made everything darker and weird when they upgraded the graphics a couple of years ago. I don't know why they did that. I never did get an answer. They just thought it looked better, I guess. And I don't know. Maybe there were reasons that they had to do it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But when you look at the original footage from 2018, I just think things looked a lot more lush. Now, you saw me sliding a corner. That's because I really needed that overtake. And here, I gotta really maximize this. I want to get under Santos heading into the next braking point. Hopefully I can, unless Santos comes down. Okay, well, I might end up hitting Santos. Oh, that's not bad. Side contact isn't bad. I was worried about having to bump past him, which is more of a NASCAR thing. You hit someone and go into the corner. It's okay to do that in NASCAR, but you do have to be careful of retribution, because that's allowed in NASCAR. Okay, so here's where I could get to so many times before I had to buy a little bit more upgrades. So, like, obviously this is very scary. 10 seconds left, but these guys go too wide every single time into corner one, which enables me to get at least one and maybe two. Hey, there was a Mazda. So I wasn't wrong. We do have Mazdas and Porsches. Okay, thought I was just going mad there for a bit. So, got checking. Oh, I definitely have to win, and I definitely can't go off track. Sometimes I got to recheck those, especially when it's like this and it's like my first time finally reaching the first place bot. Then I'm worried because I'm getting down to 20 seconds left. Now I know I can improve on the bots on this corner because look how they take it. They don't maximize it that way. So now I'm going to grind Ahmed a bit. Ooh, not very much. Better get here low. Ah, nuts! Ahmed's going to get right beside me again. Oh, good. He tucked in behind me. Oh, that had me worried. And I'm not going to slow down until we're almost done. Ooh, Ahmed! You nasty boy, you. Okay. There we go. Okay. A little bit stressful, but I'm happy with that. Now, I want to show you the upgrades I've got here. You can see I've got a drivetrain. I could have added the R upgrade to that drivetrain, but I've only got 45,500 R, and it's like, I think 222,500, and that is way too many ads to watch. I'm going to fight this out a bit and just do my best to win this without having to need more upgrades. And before this is done, I will definitely tell you my total costs, and we'll see if I have to get more. Woo, drifted around. Okay, nicely in the lead. I wanted that as soon as possible. Now, I haven't really maximized this. I think I'm driving a little bit too cautiously, but it's no off track, so I want to be careful. Now, all I'm caring about is the timer. I do not care about the bots at this point. If I have a lot of time left over, I will reel them back in. I think I got on the brakes way too early there. Probably. And then is this the... oh, we got the... Okay, going uphill here, so I'm not really used to my braking points. I'm kind of guessing at some of this. You want to stay full throttle through that. Ooh, boy. Didn't I start with 216 on the clock, and I'm already down to 116? I'm probably down to 1 minute by the time I get to the start-finish line. Oh, yikes. Well, I needed 116 for the first lap. Oh, no, okay, 104. But then again, I was contending with cars, and I started from a dead stop. And I started a little ways back. Okay, maybe we should be okay. I'm going to take this a little bit more aggressive this time around. I think I can keep this section full throttle if I take this correctly. See here, yes I can, but I better get on the brakes extra early because I'm not used to this car at this track. And I'm not doing this section good at all. So I'll brake a little bit later this time around, but I don't want to push it too much. Now I got to remember that I've got the hill portion here going uphill, so I'm going to brake earlier for that. And that's not bad, not great. 20 seconds? That can't be right. Okay, I feel like I'm driving real sloppy. 10 seconds, this gets stressful. Well, let's see if I have extra time when I get to the start-finish line. I don't think I will. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow, that was really close. Okay, well, I didn't need to get that extra $R upgrade, which thank goodness, because I don't want to go watch that many more ads. I've watched way too many. Okay, this one's interesting. You've got to give Ahmed a 5-second lead start. If you hit the throttle too early, you lose. So go to this view, so you can pick a view you can see, and anticipate it. I think I hit that 3/10 too late, and then you can switch to whatever view you prefer. I prefer chase view. The second most popular view is bonnet view, where you see just a little bit of the car's hood. That is actually really nice for certain circuits, like street circuits, where you've got a lot of really sharp corners. So this is still really difficult. This took me a while. It's kind of surprising. I had to really maximize this and then be very careful on the brakes quite early here. Oh, I swung 2 tires off track. But actually, that's not bad though. I came in there, I was on the brakes a little bit early, it felt. When you take 2 tires off track, you increase your braking distance, but you also improve your trajectory into the corner or the race line because you make the corner wider. So sometimes you do take off 2 tires and you give up some braking distance for that. Now obviously I've got quite a deficit here. Time is not a factor, but no off track allowed. Again, this is old school. You go off track, you are done. So you got to be very careful there. I went in too deep. It's not advisable. Well, this is going to get very sketchy. Ahmed's got a pretty sizable lead on me, but I take these corners a lot better than the bots, as you can see. Now, oh, Ahmed's getting in view. If I have to, I can do a bump pass. And whoa, I was not expecting Ahmed to be going so slow. I'm bump passing Ahmed. As you probably noticed, even in stages where it says no damage, you can get away with a certain amount of contact, but definitely too much contact and you will fail. So I usually have a pretty good sense of how much I can get away with. And there we go, I'm happy with that one. So it didn't say no damage, that one just said no off track. All right, let's see what they've got for us next. We're getting close to the end of this one. There's my upgrades again. Okay, no off track, win in 41 seconds, and there's a speed requirement. Okay, interesting. And this is our first time facing this circuit in this car. So I've had no practice. This is my actual first attempt doing this race in this car. Ooh, I should have swung a lot more over, but I couldn't because of how I took that. Okay, so you want to brake early here because we really want to set up the drive out of this corner. Here we go. Now, I do remember this track in my mind. There's a series of S's coming up. I'm gonna have to be on the brakes. So I'm anticipating hitting speed. There we go. And you gotta know what these S's are. I'm pretty sure this was no off track. And I can't remember. This might be really down to the wire. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, without going off track, but thankfully it didn't fail me there. Again, way back in the old days, I would have failed for that. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, here we are. The very last race. Place at least second. For the very last race? Seriously? Not happening. No, no, no. I will win this race. In fact, I'd like to have time to do donuts, but are you kidding? Oh, I was going to do a pit maneuver just for the fun of it. Man, that Pagani's got a lot of grip. If the car you're facing has more grip than you often can't do a pit maneuver. I was right in the rear quarter panel too. Oh well. Okay, now inside line here, you can usually get a bunch. I'm being very careful. And there we go. There's first place. It's just one lap. There's probably no rules. I probably could do off track and whatever I want, but I don't want to do that. I decided I wanted to end this event on a high point, and that means let's just keep this on track and do legitimate racing. Now, I should point out that both in the drivetrain and tires and wheels area, there is an R$ upgrade I did not buy. And that's because I had nowhere near enough currency and I was not going to spend another couple of hours letting ads play. So it's maybe you could have done this with slightly less gold. I mean, I doubt it. Well, if you would have bought the R$ upgrades a lot earlier and done more bot slowing and bot management, like if I was to do this over again from scratch, it's possible I could do this with 2 less upgrades than what I even did. So that's interesting. It's one of the rare times skipping seems to be a good strategy, although if you do plan on upgrading this car for the series it's in or the exclusive series, well, then you just threw away currency. You might as well buy those upgrades if that's your long-term plan and you can afford it. If you can't afford it, then skipping enabled me to get this cheaper. And if you buy those upgrades sooner, you could have had even slower bots. Oh, look at this. I get a reverse of losing by passing the start-finish line slightly backwards. So let's get to those total numbers, rewards, and final numbers. Here are my total numbers, and then there's also the 60 gold for the skip, rewards of 200,000 R$ and 100 gold. So my final costs, including the skip, are 1,045,200 R$ and 155 gold. That's quite a bit less than last time. So please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Best of luck to you as you try to earn your Mercedes-Benz C11. Bye-bye now.